I'm gonna give you guys a very quick update about Pyth Network today and see what has changed since the last time I've talked about it, and of course, since last week's crash. What I'm seeing here for Pyth Network is still holding above this breakout here that I've talked about quite some time ago. This is on the weekly time frame, and the weekly time frame here has a falling wedge pattern, which usually breaks to the upside here. It broke to the upside quite a few back in June actually, okay? And the price target here would be about $1.05. This breakout is still valid despite last week's a crash here because the price action is still above the breakout of this pattern here, okay? Especially the upper trend line of this pattern. That's how I can tell if a breakout above a falling wedge is still valid. I also talked about a smaller falling wedge that has formed from within the pattern to outside of the pattern, okay, to after the breakout of this pattern. Now, that pattern is still valid because even though last week's candle wick, huge candle wick, basically went from about 17 cents to almost 5 cents, about 5 cents. However, this was a candle wick, okay? Candle wicks do not invalidate patterns. Candle closes do on the highest time frame that the pattern is validated in, okay? So this smaller falling wedge pattern is still not invalidated and is still intact. It broke out of it back in August, okay? Price target for this breakout here, it's about 30 cents. Now let's see if Pyth Network can actually hold above the smaller falling wedge pattern here, which looks like it still is holding, as you guys can see, right? It's still above the upper trend line of this pattern. This tells me that traders are still seeing this breakout here. So let's see if it can actually hold above it and go ahead and go towards its smaller price target before reaching the bigger one. Quite a bit of resistance along the way right now, including your weekly 21 SMA that's currently about 13 cents, your weekly 50 SMA at about 21 cents, okay? Now, a lot of it's going to depend on what happens with Bitcoin. I am still long on quite a bit of altcoins here, but I am looking for a short position on Bitcoin, especially on the resistance that I'm seeing right now for Bitcoin, okay? If Bitcoin dumps from here, that's not going to be good for a lot of these altcoins, and that's why I'm trying to hedge my long positions with a short position and a short stop. If the short-term data here looks right to me, okay? So I'll update you guys on that later or tomorrow. But this is basically what I'm seeing here for the markets going into the weekend and potentially next week, and what I'm going to be paying attention to. Of course, these are just my opinions and not financial advice like the entirety of this video. You guys gotta still form your own opinions and strategies. So this basically it wraps it up for this video. Let me know if you guys want to continue seeing any more of Pyth Network or any other coins in this market by dropping a like, comment, subscribe. I'll pick a request to you for you guys on a daily basis, and I'll see you on the next one.